Hi, Carlos. Good to see you. We have news, huh?
Hello, Douglas, and welcome, my friends. Yes, we have great news. And every time we have a new project, I can show through my face all the enthusiasm that is motivating me. And we have a really interesting, amazing proposal for you, my friends.
I have idea. I think that we are going to talk about Art Jin Shin and Asian traditions. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. And my motivation to begin this research happened many years ago when I was thinking about the journey of Master Jiro Murai. We heard that Murai, after that amazing transformation that happens when you are very sick, isolated in the mountains, practicing the art. Uh, After that experience, he begins a journey, collect informations in many different ways about this lost art. And after years of researching and the elements and practicing with many people, finally the imperial family begins to support his journey, and they allow him to research in the Imperial Library in Japan. So imagine the situation. He had the entire Imperial Library to research, but he had no idea what to ask for because the name Jinshin Jutsu was Jiro's creation. He realized the original name of this art was lost. So he could not ask for the librarian, please give him material about the art of Jinshin or material about Jinshin Jutsu, because it was not the ancient name for the art. So I believe he had to research old material, books, and everything from different ancient cultures. We know that he researched material that came from China, from India, to identify elements that support uh, that support his research. Imagine, for example, that he found the Kojiki as the main source, but we know that the same emperor who asked for the scholars collect information about the old traditions of Japan, they collect so many stories that just uh, the main versions of the stories they put in the Kojiki. But because they have many other versions, they have material to create another book. And they wrote another book called Nihonji. And so, and Jumurai researched this book too. So I can imagine that he found not only in those two books, but in many other ancient material information that support uh, his research to reorganize this lost art.
Well, looks like we'll be following the footsteps of Jiro Murai in his journey in the art of Jin Shin. Well, I'm just thinking and playing about the four G's: Jiro, Japan, Journey, and Jin Shin. So it will be fun.
Yes, and my friends, that's the reason it's not a seminar, it's not a class, it's a study group, because we count on you to join us in this enthusiastic research. Because this is what I'm doing because in my trips teaching the art, every time I have the opportunity to visit an archaeological site or a museum, I use this time to find signs of this art. And for example, when I was teaching in Guadalajara, Mexico, I had the opportunity to visit the anthroposophic, no, yes, no, the archaeological museum in Guadalajara. And there I found some little sculptures made by the Mayans. And one of them, it was very clear. There's a person touching the underarm. You could see the tip of the fingers in the back and both underarms. And the title of the sculpture is The Warrior Resting. And things like this, I began to find everywhere. So it like I remove some veil from my eyes, and I begin to perceive symbols and signs in paintings, in the sculptures. And recently, 2 weeks ago, when a friend from Europe was visiting here in Brazil, I took her for a city tour. And when I show her the cathedral we have in Porto Alegre, in the front of the cathedral, there is a painting. The painting, I think is called the Annunciation, is when the Archangel Gabriel came to Mary to inform her she was pregnant from Jesus. And in the painting, we can see Mary touching the 13s like this. So is it a coincidence? I don't believe it. And Mary wrote in the self-help book #1 that the art of Jin Shin was well known in the past, in the time of Buddha, in the time of Moses. And another thing that she mentioned is the art of Jin Shin is an innate wisdom. So we can see how innate is this wisdom because it's present in the art representations all over the planet. So we are sharing our enthusiasm with you to invite you to begin to remove the veil from your eyes, and when you observe art expressions, check if in the art people are not touching in the areas you recognize as the personagetic centers or saved angelos. In Egypt, there is a representation of the god Horus, and the god Horus is the sun god touching the back of the head with in the area we recognize as four of the pharaoh. And so the god that represents the light, the sun, is touching the windows where we receive this light to nurture and to manifest the unique expression each one of us is.
Well, looks like we'll be unveiling the secrets of other masters also. And talking about Mary, I think Mary likes three-piece. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. Mary mentioned many times um, about the three masters, the three P's, Pythagoras, Plato, and Paracelsus. And she found on their writings profound informations that you can relate directly to the art of teaching. And it's not only the philosophical level. We know Pythagoras and Plato, they were philosophers, but Paracelsus was a physician. So he used these philosophical information in a very practical way. So, the purpose of this study group is not only travel through the midst of times, digging and looking for connections. No, we can find amazing quickies. Many of them I recognize in the quickies presented by Jill Mary, but we can find a lot of interesting things that we can introduce in our daily life, maybe creating a manual of uh, self-help for the third millennium. In the Orthodox Church, the common representation of Jesus is not the one we saw in our Western representation where Jesus are doing this. No, Jesus are doing this a kind of mudra, everybody recognizes the sixth mudra of the sequence Jumrai practice. And so there are so many amazing things we can find. And so we are inviting you, all of you, to join us in this research.
And we can share all this material with our friends, and they can do it with each other in a WhatsApp or a Telegram group that we are doing in this study group. We can remind them also that if they want to know more about this study group, we have a link down in the description where they can find the prices, the dates, and even more material about this study group. It will be weekly meetings, and we will do practice in each meeting with different topics, and will be amazing to be together. So we are inviting everybody to come and join us in this amazing journey.